when it's time to take it off a record.
Right.
It's an inside joke. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce everyone to the president of the Eta Pi chapter of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity, Brother Barry Devon.
All right. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. We have an exciting program lined up for you, as Brother Stevens mentioned. Today's discussion is going to be revolve around careers in aviation, and this is part of our career conversation initiative, which is designed to bring awareness to youth about the various career options they'll have, you guys will have after you finish school. Today, I have the honor of introducing the Omega Psi Phi fraternity's second district representative, Brother Kelvin Mpofo, who will be providing some opening remarks for us today. Brother Mpofo is responsible for leading the strategic direction of 5 states throughout the country, including New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland. Not only that, Brother Mpofo is a supervisor and manager of airport operations at Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority in Washington, D.C. He's also an accomplished pilot himself. So not only does he have the managerial and operations experience, he's actually flown planes. So we look forward to hearing some of his insight on today's discussion. Before we begin, I'd like to thank all of our brothers who have joined us throughout the country, our Brother Williams, as well as all the other brothers who have joined us for today's conversation. Feel free to chime in. We're looking to make this a very interactive and engaging conversation. Thank you to all of the Black Pilots Association for volunteering to engage us today in today's discussion, and most importantly, to all of the youth who are on here to get this good information. So without any further ado, Brother Mpofo, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Well, Brother Bosses. Everything good?
Yep, it's on you.
Okay.
You have to unmute yourself.
How about now? We good now?
Yes.
Here we go.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Certainly to you, Brother Bossless, during these times of the pandemic and continued social injustice, your leadership with this mighty Eta Pi chapter is certainly to be commended. So thank you, as well as the brothers of Eta Pi, for your continued leadership during this pandemic. Certainly to Brother Stevens as well, for all the leadership opportunities and mentoring programs with the young people. Certainly to be commended. I'm happy to be here. This is an exciting topic. As you've heard, to my young people, I think what's important is not so much where I am now, but what's most important is how I got there. And so just very briefly, I will share with you my path in aviation to how I got to where I am. I started in military school. I was in military school from 7th grade through 12th grade. And certainly those persons and brothers that have been a part of the military, or even if you're familiar with the military, I'm going to put a smile on Brother Williams' face. One of the things that you have received, one of the things that you accomplished throughout the years in the military environment is awards called ribbons. And so as you achieve ribbons and medals, you get an opportunity to really dress up your uniform. And so as you can imagine, from being there from 7th grade through 12th grade, I had the opportunity to receive a lot of medals, a lot of ribbons. But one thing that I didn't have at the end of my sophomore year, 10th grade, was the pilot wings. I didn't have the pilot wings in my uniform. And so I said, I'm going to become a pilot. And there was many people at that institution that told me, oh, you can't be a pilot. You can't do it. They told me that I couldn't. And so to my brothers that are on the line, they understand that, when somebody says that it couldn't be done, we simply reply with a chuckle. And so even at that time, I wasn't yet a brother of the fraternity, but at that time, I certainly chuckled and I certainly went to work. And so at the age of 15, I started taking lessons at my military school. And by the time I was 16, I soloed my first airplane, Cessna 152. Well, that started my path in aviation. After the instructor got out of the plane and the instructor said, okay, you get to go by yourself. And I said, what? You want me to do this by myself? And after I flew that airplane around that airport one time by myself, that's when everything started. From there, I went down to college. I enrolled at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University and the Air Force ROTC Detachment 157, which was combined with Bethune-Cookman College and Embry-Riddle. And so that started the rest of my flight training, as well as began my fraternity experience. I received all of my flight credentials, a commercial pilot, instrument rated, multi-engine rated, and I was on my way to becoming an airline pilot. I got a very fortunate opportunity after graduation to work with a company that allowed me to fly corporate jets. And so I was flying after graduation, I was flying corporate jets, flying corporate executives around the Northeast region. Unfortunately, we had the tragedy September 11th. And so where the company was based out of, it put a restriction on our airspace where I was based out of. My young people, I want to always let you know, you can be whatever you want to be, but make sure you have a backup plan. It's important. Always have a plan B. Even while in college, even though I was going through flight training, I always had a plan B. And my plan B was if I couldn't fly the airplanes, then I was going to be able to talk to the airplanes. And so my minor was air traffic control. So I have all my certificates to actually be an air traffic controller in the event I was unable to fly. So after September 11th, I had gained the knowledge, I had gained the experience, and I changed it over to airport management. And so as you've heard, that's what I do now. And so I run the operations at our nation's capital airport, Washington Reagan National Airport. And so this allows me the opportunity to be with airplanes every single day. I make sure that the runways are safe for the pilots and that the airport is open for the public. So I simply want to commend all of you, and it doesn't matter, even if you don't want to fly the plane, there are many opportunities in aviation. Even if you want to be in the mission control or operations control, just talking to the pilots, making sure that everything is well. There's plenty of opportunities, even with the Federal Aviation Administration, to ensure that everything is operating the way that it's supposed to. And last and certainly not least, we can't forget, even if you don't want to fly the planes, we still need people to fix the planes. So yes, airline mechanics, aircraft mechanics, very, very, very good job opportunities in aviation maintenance. So with that being said, I guess later in the program, I'll be able to share some other opportunities for young people. But with that, I just wanted to commend all of you for being up. I know it's Saturday. I know you'd rather maybe be doing some other things, but certainly I'm glad for this platform to share with you and my other colleagues on here in aviation about how fun aviation can be, and anything that you want to do, just set your mind to it, stick with it, and then go do it. Thank you so much, Brother Bosses. I'll yield back.
Thank you, Brother DR. I appreciate your comments and definitely look forward to your introductions throughout the program. Before I turn it back over to Brother Stevens, I just wanted to acknowledge Mr. Sean Snead, who is the library and media specialist at Orange Public Schools, and also an accomplished pilot in his own right. So he's joining us today as well. So thank you, Mr. Snead. Brother Stevens, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Great. Has the CLICS representative joined us as yet? Okay, hearing none. What they'd like to do at this point in time, everyone, is I'd like to introduce the Black Pilots of America, who are our host for this afternoon. Dwight Horton is the president of the local chapter, and I'd like to introduce him, give him an opportunity to introduce the organization and our keynote speaker for today, Walter, who will be talking with us and engaging. Our focus today, young people, is not for you just to listen, but for you to ask questions. As indicated, this young man got his pilot license at 14 years old. He's 17 years old now, and he's doing some phenomenal stuff. So he's going to talk for a little bit, but then we really want you to ask all of the questions. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Dwight Horton.
Good morning, everybody. I'm president of the Aviation Foresight chapter, the New Jersey chapter of the Black Pilots of America. And what I'd like to do is just give you a little brief of what the chapter is about, or what the organization is about as a whole. It's the Black Pilots of America. This is screen share here. Our primary goals to train youth, is stimulate and encourage broad job opportunities, encourage youth to enter into the field of aviation, organize and set up school training, develop school youth scholarships. We've been doing those things, and also to acquire at least aviation equipment for the advancement of promoting aviation in general. The organization is we founded in 1997 as a result of, there was an organization called Negro Airmen International Incorporated that sort of like disbanded, and out of that became the Black Pilots of America. We have about 25 chapters across the country, up close to 300 something members. And that being said, we also have a strong tie in, I guess, in the New Jersey area. We've been working with Matt on a few other projects. And from that point, I'd like to introduce Walter Young, Jr. Walter?
Hey everyone, I'm glad to be here with you all today. It's a nice Saturday morning, and just to start off, my name is Walter Young, the third, not junior, but I am 17 years old, and I am a senior at Plainfield High School in Plainfield, New Jersey.
Walter.
And right now,
just 1 second, Walter. I wanted to just give our funder an opportunity to give greetings. She just popped in, and then we're going to just move forward with the activity. So ladies and gentlemen, this program is funded by a partnership through the Clio Clicks organization. And our sponsor this evening is Linda. We'd like for Linda to please give greetings on behalf of the Clio Clicks organization. Linda?
Thank you, Matt. I'm sorry, my video is giving me an issue. So, but you guys do see a picture of me. So, but I'll try to fix that before we're done today. But I'm very happy to be here. This is one of my first webinars. But aside from being part of this webinar today, I have seen the the calendar of events that you all are putting together. So again, amazing things that you are offering the students and the youth in the New Jersey area. I'm especially excited, like I told Matt, to be here because I'm from New Jersey myself, born and raised in Newark. Now I'm an attorney. I live in the DC area. So, and I still have family ties in New Jersey, so I go back every so often. So this to me is just amazing that I get to work with a partner like you guys in New Jersey. So thank you for having me, and I'm very excited to learn with everyone along here today. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. We could not have done this project without the Clio Clicks funding. The partnership that we've connected with you has been tremendous, and we look forward to continuing to do the things that we're doing today and highlighting young people like Walter that are getting the job done. So again, we'd like to open it up to our good friend Walter to continue without any interruption.
thank you, Matt. So once again, I'm really excited to be here with you all today. My name is Walter Young III, and I am 17 years old, and I attend Plainfield High School at Plainfield, New Jersey. And my goal is to become an airline pilot. So I have started flying since the age of 12. And originally, I was so into video games, and video games were my passion, but I haven't really started looking into my career. So with the help of my parents, we looked into jobs that a person who likes video games would be interested in. And one of the top three choices was pilot. The first one was air traffic control. And well, we looked into an orientation flight, and I took an orientation flight in Robbinsville Airport in Trenton, New Jersey. And once I took that orientation flight, my eyes lit up, and I was very excited, and I knew that this was something that I can do. So I started flying since the age of 12, and because I had so much time, I realized that I have 4 years until I can solo in a powered aircraft, a single engine land. So I got some advice that I can also fly gliders. And gliders are aircraft that do not have an engine in them. They're made to go as far as possible without losing a lot of altitude or a lot of height. And so I decided to take gliding lessons. They're a bit cheaper than powered lessons, and I soloed at the age of 14. And at the age of 14, I also got to meet Matt, and I was also able to give out a presentation to his students, talking about the joys of aviation and what's so great about flying and all the career opportunities that it entails. And after I started soloing in gliders, I got my private pilot license with a glider rating at age 16. And after that, I took a small break with the glider lessons so that I can pursue my private pilot license with a single engine land rating. So right now I am taking my lessons for that, and I am taking the steps necessary to get to where I want to be in the future. So I'm definitely excited to meet you all, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Right
Great.
now, we can bring up a video of me taking up my sister in a glider flight. So Matt, if you could pull up the video. All right, so in this video, you'll see that this is the front of the glider that I was flying. It is a Schweitzer 233 glider. We are flying it at Blairstown Airport in Blairstown, New Jersey. And as you can see, because there's no engine in the glider, it has to be towed by a powered aircraft. So right now we have the tow plane that is taking me and my sister up to about 1,800 feet mean sea level. And that is the average height above, that's the height above the average level of the sea. So right here, this is what we would call the the takeoff tow. And we would go up to our pattern altitude, and then we go to our release point. And then after that, we would release from the tow plane, and then we would head off to the right so that we would avoid colliding with the aircraft. And then we would safely maneuver until we get to the airport. And aviation is all about safety. And aviation, including gliders, helicopters, and powered aircraft, the number one goal is always safety, even mechanics and the air traffic control. So it's definitely a great opportunity to learn and involve your skill sets. This is so we could stop the video here, and if you have any questions, let me know, and we'll definitely get to them.
All right. So young people, this is what we really wanted to use this this hour time to do, is to really kind of engage in questions and answers. So I know a couple of kids that I'm familiar with that in working, I had real interest in flying. So I want to kind of start out with my good friend, Mr. Duff, Tobio Duff. Any questions for Walter? You got to unmute yourself.
Yes, I have a question. For your first flight, were you very nervous, or were you just excited to get up in the air and to look at the scenery around you?
At first, I was a little bit nervous, and it wasn't so much the height that I was nervous about. It was more about falling from the sky, because like as in a roller coaster, when you go down very fast, you get that feeling in your gut. But other than that, it was really nice, and the scenery was great, and it's definitely something you should definitely experience. It's great.
Great, Mr. Devon, if you could help me kind of recognize some kids and just kind of ask them, that would be great. Oh, we've got a hand up, young man in the top.
Me?
Yes, young man.
Okay, my question is, what school can I go to like start taking lessons? Because I'm 10 years old.
Well, that's a great question. And I'm glad that you're interested at such a young age. You're starting 2 years earlier than I was introduced to aviation, and I really commend you for that. And I know that there should be a local airport, local airports around your area that can offer orientation flights or offer flight training lessons for those who are interested. And I know if you just look up online, flight school or flight training, you'll definitely be able to find something. I know BPA also, they help instruct and teach young members how to fly as well with different events that we host.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Mr. Snead, it looks like you have your hand up.
Yes, I just wanted to say to Walter, excellent job. I'm a CFII, so if you need anything, any information, materials, please contact me. Let me know anything you may need, whether it be books, like computers, electronic, or the old school handheld ones. I'm willing to offer whatever you need to help accomplish whatever career you want. My wife is also the administrator in Plainfield, so there's a connection there as well. At Robbinsville, that was one of the many airports I flew out of New Jersey. I believe Shannon Way was down there as an instructor. So if you need anything, please contact me. Let me know. I'm willing to support in any way I can. Of course, at no charge to you or your family, whatever you may need. So I'm current. If you need anything, just let me know.
All right, that sounds great. Do you is it all right if I give you my email?
I'm gonna put my information in the box just so anyone that wants any information about schools in New Jersey, anything. I went through the Mercer County Flight Program. So if there's anything you need in support of that, just let me know and I'll put my information in the chat box.
And what's going to happen is after this meeting, Brother Stevens will be sending a follow-up email with a list of resources, links, contact information. So everyone, all of the youth participants will receive information. And
Gotcha.
also, if you take a look in the chat right now, Brother and Paul will put a link in there regarding lessons for youth as well.
Additionally, we through some of the funding that we have received from the CLICS program, we will be helping young people to pay entrance fees for some of these activities. So we just have to make sure that this is something that you really want to do. If you're interested, we will be supporting you by paying your entrance fee for interest into some of these activities. Let's ask some more questions, man. We got this brother on for another 30 minutes. Get some questions going on.
Well, there is a question in the comments
Okay.
from Carol Randolph.
Okay.
They ask, what are the costs associated with flight orientation and obtaining your license? And with flight orientation, it's different for different airports, but it usually is at a discounted cost of what is normally given. I know that the planes that they teach in, the Cessna 172, they usually are at a rate of $155 per hour. And that doesn't include the instructor cost. So the instructor cost for that is usually around $50. It varies for different airports. And they also have ground school where the instructor would help teach the student about different aspects of aviation, flight safety, rules and regulations. And that usually is also just the instructor fee as well. And orientation can be about $100 to $150.
Great. I see my man Chad. How you doing up there, Chad? Hope everything is well with you. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Hey, do you have any questions for the young man?
No, not right now.
Not right now. Okay, great. All right. All right, brothers. Looks like Malik Akbar. How you doing, Malik? Are you with us? You're on mute. All right, we'll kind of come back. Looking for some questions, brothers. Look some questions. I have a question, Walter. Like, who influenced you the most to want to be a pilot?
Well, when I was younger, I was really into video games, and at first I wanted to be a doctor, an allergist, and I wasn't really moving towards that goal. So my parents, they helped introduce flying to me through the orientation flight at Robbinsville Airport. And what interested me in flying was that I realized that I can go above and beyond than just sitting home, not really doing much. But also what inspired me was my parents. My dad, he was in the Army, and what he wanted to be a helicopter pilot when he was younger, but he hasn't had the opportunity. So I want to be just like him. And that was one inspiration for me doing the powered aircraft.
Sounds like a winner, man. We have a question from Ms. Randolph. She says, are background checks required for parents or family members to be a part of the air pilot activity?
Well, in different careers in aviation, there are background checks that are required, but I'm not too familiar with background checks for the aviation industry. So if someone else has an answer to this question, feel free to chime in.
I can speak to that. If I'm allowed.
Yes, absolutely. Go.
Okay, so the BPA chapter, we partner with the Experimental Aircraft Association chapter also. There's a chapter at Old Bridge Airport, which is where when we had in-person meetings for the BPA AEF chapter, they were held at the Old Bridge Airport. And we've done cooperative events with the EAA chapter. And the EAA organization, the Experimental Aircraft Organization, has specific requirements for anyone to be able to take the children on a flight. And part of that is a very extensive background check, formalized. You have to submit paperwork in writing. It has to be approved by the national organization and given back to you before you're allowed to do that. Is that helpful?
Absolutely. Bob, you had some amazing pictures and we were really excited about this one right here. Could you give us maybe a 1 minute, 2 minute explanation of what's going on here? When and what are you actually doing with these young people right here?
Okay, well, about 10 years ago, I started a class, which I only did for a couple, 3 years because of complications and my workload in my career. But regardless, I started a class for middle school students, an after-school program in Camden, New Jersey. And so this is a picture of me. There's really, do you have the other pictures that were associated with this or not?
We got the
Yeah,
first
very good.
three. This one was the first one.
Right. Okay. So this gentleman is an icon in aviation industry and kind of our hero. Joe Holt, he and his wife owned the flight school in Old Bridge. And this was the very first meeting where Joe and I went down to start this class. And then the second picture is of not that particular day, but later days. But the reason it's here is because it has that graphic in the background. If you can, I don't know if you can see, that's a tricycle airplane. And I built these handmade, they're called 6-packs with the 6 instruments, key instruments that are used in aviation to help the pilot guide his airplane. And the controls, you can see there's the lady in the foreground has got her hands on the mixture control and the power control, and just getting them some hands-on experience on how to fly an airplane. Did you want me to go into that short story about the?
Well, I'm gonna get back to some of the kids and
Yeah, because I really need someone else to tell that. I'll get emotional again.
It's all good, man. That's a good thing. Emotion is always a good thing. All right, so let's get back to some more questions. Hey, Walter, is your dad available?
Yes, my dad is available, and he's also a member of Black Pilots of America. And he said, "Oh, he wants something to add to the conversation."
Tell him to jump in. Hey, Dad, how's it going?
How's everyone doing?
Hey, man. Hey, we're doing a lot of work with our fraternity with fathers activities and building fathers. And so it's apropos that you be here today. I see Brother Williams is giving the thumbs up on that. Could you tell us a little bit about, some of your excitement in seeing your son participate and doing such great things?
Absolutely. One of the first I want to let you know is that, see, I'm here right next to Walter. I'm in the same screen with him, and that's symbolic in many ways. See, I could be on a separate screen, but if you're going to get your kid on a path to aviation, one of the most important things that we can do as parents, especially minority parents, is making sure that we are always there with our kids. I have been to every airport, every flight, every school with this young man. He's a great young man, but parents, I'm telling you, what you can do more than anything else is to support your young people. Once they decide that they want to fly, be there with them by their side. I'm a member of BPA. I don't know nothing about flying, but I'm here. And I would tell you, this organization is awesome. The people in BPA through the years, from when Walter first decided he wanted to fly, has been so supportive of us, telling us where we can go to get lessons, where we can find things cheaper, resources, schools, different things. A lot of stuff we don't know. We see these big airplanes and we see people on them, but how did they get there? Well, one of the main things I can tell you is support. And young people, if you're interested in this, you have to talk to your parents, tell them we need your support. Join organizations like this, get in good contact with good people, and we'll push you through.
All right. Great. I was really impressed by just how cohesive the organization is. And today was my first day meeting Bob, and how emotional he got by just working with the kids is really something that we want to commend him and the organization for doing. So, Walter, the question that I have, when I met you when you were 14, you was unable to get a driver's license, as you were unable to drive. So have you got your driver's license yet to drive a car?
Yes. I got my driver's license in July, and now I am able to drive myself to the airport. But before then, I always had my dad or my mom help take me to the airport, and without them, I wouldn't be able to get to where I am today.
So I would think that driving a car after driving a plane is kind of a step down. What was that? What's that experience like?
Well, um, it is less complicated, but they're both definitely great accomplishments to be able to do. Being able to drive is a privilege, just like being able to fly is also a privilege. And I know that being knowing how to drive can actually help you learn how to fly too, because it's the same process, a little less process, but it's the same process with knowing that there's right of way, there's rules to flying, just like there's rules to the road. You have to know how to you have to make sure that your aircraft is in compliance with rules, and it's definitely it definitely helps knowing how to do both.
Sounds like a winner, man. I see some of our elders. I wanted to kind of give them an opportunity to chime in. Mr. Baruti, Amari Baruti, how are you, sir?
Fine, brother. I'm very pleased to be in your company and the company of all these young warriors. I wish this program were in place when I was young. I would go out to the Philadelphia airport and watch the planes take off and land. Through some of my career activity, I was on a plane in the morning. I mean, every Friday, and going up to Boston, coming back down to Washington D.C. On Friday. So I enjoyed flying, but particularly before 9/11 hit. But at that time, when I was coming up, the only thing was available was the Civil Air Patrol, and they were operating out of Willow Grove. So being in West Philadelphia, it was a little challenging to be able to get out there and be a part of that effort. So I commend the young brothers. First, I commend the mentors here, and those professionals and brothers who have come to be able to provide a direction for these young brothers. I learned that Elizabeth City University, HBCU, also has a program, aviation program there, and is doing some good things. I'm glad also to just see that the United Airlines opened up opportunities for our African American brothers and others to be able to participate in flying. So I think some of the young brothers who are here today. You're right at you say you're in a situation where you are pregnant with possibility. There's so much available to you right now, so I encourage you to take advantage of the opportunities and in the hands of friendship that have been extended through contacts and others to help you to learn and master this craft. But I'm thankful to be here, brothers, and appreciative for the opportunity to see such young warriors excited about becoming fly. I also had a chance to go there to visit Kitty Hawk when I was down in North Carolina, down at the and see and visit the museum there to see where aviation started. So it's always been exciting to study and watch how this whole aviation process takes place. And again, glad to be able to help out or be a part of this effort as well. Thank you, brothers.
Thank you, brother. We have guests that have joined us from one of our community partners, Platinum Minds. This is a phenomenal group that we're going to be supporting. They're helping young people get into Ivy League schools and private institutions throughout this country. Wanted to is anybody from Platinum Minds here? Do you guys have any questions for Walter? You got to unmute yourself. We got a bunch of guests from Yvette Long. Anybody? All righty. Okay, so Dwight, we are going to be working with the Black Pilots of America in sponsoring some young people to join the organization once you guys are able to get up and going next year. Could you talk to them a little bit about what are some things that they can be excited about participating in the group, and so that they hopefully can kind of be like Walter at some point in time?
Sure. For the most part, with working with the youth, some of the members that we have already, there's different events that go on at the airport. They'll be a part of it. Close to working with the Old Bridge Flight School. They have flight simulators with like 65-inch screens all around to get real simulation. We also be doing orientation flights. We do recreation flights also, which is just a trip down to another airport for breakfast or lunch or something to that effect. So those type of things they'll be involved with. They'll also be get exposed to aviation mechanics and things like that that's going on around the airport. So they'll actually be able to learn a little bit in that direction if they want to go in the direction of aviation mechanics or avionics. Those things can be opened up to them. One thing that Walt did not bring up, and I think this added to his career, he was a member of the Civil Air Patrol. The Civil Air Patrol does help 12 years old and above. You can become a member of a local Civil Air Patrol chapter, and they help get training and discipline. They teach leadership. They also help with another organization. If your high school has a Air Force ROTC, that would be good to join and get some exposure to aviation. The Civil Air Patrol has helped quite a few, myself and some of the other members of BPA are and were members of Civil Air Patrol. And we've seen quite a few young kids come up through Civil Air Patrol and through BPA. We sponsor a 2-week program down in Houston. We haven't done it for the last 2 years. Scholarship where kids are actually able to go down to Houston. They stay for 2 weeks. They get ground school and flight school. And typically in those 2 weeks, they can go from 0 to solo during that time. So those are one of the programs that we promote.
And that is phenomenal, man.
And
Walter, I'm sorry, Walter, we have a question in the chat. It says, do you still play video games, and what video games are you good at?
So I still play video games, not as much as I used to, but I definitely do it on the side so that, you know, when after I do my studying, I take some time to enjoy myself, and then I just get back to the studying. And I see that in addition to the question, Carol asked, are there any games that are helpful for practicing the type and coordination that is required for aviation? And while there is a game that does help for this. It's called Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I don't have this game, but I've seen a video on it, and it looks like it is helpful. There are people that they kind of like role play in this video game where they help actually try to follow the rules and regulations of an actual flight experience. But I don't actually own this game. So if you would like, you can check out some YouTube videos on it and see if that would be something you're interested in.
Sounds like a winner. Well, guys, we're really looking forward to when this COVID situation is over for us to kind of get to these airports with our groups and to try to engage and have a bunch of fun. Young man at the top had a question from the Orange Public Schools. Last name E-N-I. Go ahead, son.
My question is, like the video game that you were talking about, Brick, can you play it on like a laptop, or it has to be on a specific place?
It's developed by Microsoft, so I think it says it's a console game it's on Steam, so I think you can play it on the computer. It's called Microsoft Flight Simulator, so if you're able to look it up, there'll definitely be some information on that.
Great. We will just start to look it up as well. Okay, you had another question, young man? Or your hand is... Okay, we have Brother Mike Wilson. He has his hand up.
Yeah, I just had a question. Just looking at one of Bob's pictures, I saw that the photo on the wall with the airplane, and as an engineer, kind of resonated with me. So I'm curious as to if there are any, if there's any coursework that these mentees should be looking towards, whether at whatever level that they're at in school, whether it be middle school, high school, or college, or whatever, just to prepare themselves. Like what types of things would be useful to somebody who's interested in being a pilot?
Questions to me?
I guess that would be
To whomever.
Okay, go.
You want me to answer?
Yes.
Okay. There's
Somebody has to be put on mute.
oh, am I on mute? Oh,
No, not you, but there's somebody with background noise.
okay. The company, I believe the name of the company is ASA, and ASA provides a lot of materials for the preparation for you to take your written exam for the private, commercial, and the instrument, all of those ratings. And they, the test questions are nationalized and they're published, and so you know what they are. There are multiple choice answers, and just by doing those test prep books, you can learn aviation from A to Z, pretty much. Now, you say, are there nuances that you should learn by flying the airplane physically and whatnot? Absolutely. But this is what I focused on. I have a ground instructor rating, and this is what I was focusing on with the Camden middle school students. And it's a very, very surprising how fast they were able to absorb the information and learn the aeronautical engineering concepts and how they apply to actually flying an airplane. So I use the ASA books myself, but and I can help by providing those lists of resources, and so can BPA as well.
That would be great. Okay, so young people, we are 7 minutes out for our time. We promise you that we always start on time and we always end on time in respect for your time. We are really looking forward to getting off of this Zoom and getting out into actually doing some things. We're always, from now on, we're going to always have Zoom projects, because there are some children from other parts of the country that are participating with us through the Zoom. But we are going to really start looking forward to when the COVID situation and it's safe for everyone to go out, we're going to be looking to do some things in the public. And we have one thing that is coming up, our Omega 5K race that is coming up, where you will be able to participate in that. That's going to be a physical activity where you're going to be able to go outside and get something done. So I'll ask whoever's sharing the screen to stop sharing the screen, and then turn it over to Brother Mike Wilson, who will share with us information about our upcoming Omega 5K race.
Look, Brother Wilson, right before you start, there was a question regarding the presentation. All right. I saw Brother Stevens had a question. I just wanted to, before we begin to close out.
Okay, I didn't see it, so you can go ahead and ask it.
Okay.
Oh, I had a question.
All right. There were a couple of questions. Okay, Brother Stevens, go ahead.
Me or there's another
No.
Brother Stevens?
Brother DeMar Stephens. Good morning again. I just wanted to commend Brother Walter Young, little brother Walter Young III, on your achievements, and continue to do what you're doing, young brother. We are very proud of you. And just to share with the rest of the young brothers here, the young warriors, that our group was involved in a program with EAA a few years ago at New Garden Flying Field, where they had a day where they were able to go up in the planes. They had all you can eat breakfast, and they could go up into the planes, and they flew over around Lincoln University area. And when they came back, landed, they were given a certificate and a logbook that they can continue, if they were interested in aviation, to gain more knowledge of it. So that was an experience for them. And they actually got to meet some members of the Tuskegee Airmen on that particular day. So that's an experience for a young brothers the same age as you young men. So that's something to look forward to. And I think they have, right now it's probably halted, but they probably have some, probably in the Jersey area as well. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you, Brother Boston.
Yes, sir. I think there was another question.
Brother, I had a question. I just want to
Brother
ask.
Baruti had a question.
I'm sorry.
Brother Baruti, it's yours.
Yeah, brother. Well, my question is, how can the young brothers or young warriors use this training for drone opportunities? I mean, I know we talking about them being, pilots, but it look like drone opportunities are expanding every day. I just saw the day where they used a drone to put out a fire, at a building that had that was several stories high. So, are the efforts here also focused on helping brothers to use this training to also take advantage of drone opportunities? Thank you, brothers.
I leave that for Dwight. That'd probably be a Dwight question.
I can help you.
Yes. Go ahead, Sam.
Okay. Actually, drone training is available for all of us. We can all take advantage of it, but I wanted to give a plug to the Civil Air Patrol, who has a lot of drone training. And one thing wasn't mentioned is that CAP also has a 10-day encampment whereby the most deserving, that is smart kids, get a chance to go. Usually it's some Air Force base, and we have one in New Jersey. It's actually the Lake Hurst, and it's 10 days, just like Dwight talked about BPAs down in Houston, Texas. We have the same thing. But CAP has a regular droning program that people meet, and maybe once or twice a week, not once or twice, but once or twice a month, they get out and they actually fly these drones. And so that would certainly be, as you mentioned, very, very good, because I know in the military now, some of the drone strikes, if you will, in the Middle East are actually flown by people back here in Texas. And so drone flying is very important. Just wanted to mention that.
Oh, that's great stuff, man. We have we got one more question from one of the Platinum Mine volunteers. It just says Yvette Long, but I know you're not Yvette Long.
Yeah, I was just responding earlier. You had said Platinum Mines. Thank you for mentioning us. I'm an instructor with Platinum Mines, and I think some of our students are scattered around here. I'm not sure, but hopefully they got to take advantage of this. If not, I will relate a lot of what we happen here to them. So anyway, my name's Mike, by the way. So thanks. I just want to add that.
Okay, great, man. Great. All right. So we're going to recognize a couple of other people, but I first want to give Brother Wilson an opportunity to talk about our Omega 5K run, because this will be our first activity where kids are actually getting out and actually doing something outside. So Brother Wilson. You're on mute.
Right, thanks for the time, brother Stevens. Good afternoon, everyone. Just want to share an event, as Brother Stevens mentioned. Health is wealth, and we've partnered with the Greater Access Community Uplift Foundation to produce a virtual 5K that'll be taking place from May 15th to May 23rd. We've been kind of cooped up inside, a lot of us, but a lot of us have been getting outside to get exercise and stay in shape and keep our physical health and our mental health on point. For those who have been doing that throughout this whole pandemic, here's a chance to show out. For the rest of us, or for the rest of you who have not been as active, here's an opportunity to get active and get outside. And I went out and I got 5 miles in myself this morning. So the way this works is wherever you are, doesn't matter where you are, you could be in Hawaii, it doesn't matter where you are, you can participate. All you have to do is between May 15th and May 23rd, go outside, run or walk, or this is a not necessarily a competition. So at your own pace, get in 5K, track it with an app on your phone, send that information to us, and we'll send you a certificate of completion. We'll also highlight your completion on our social media platform. So the link is in the chat. Registration is free. Donations are purely optional. More than anything, we just want you all to participate and take this step to better your health and just better how you feel about yourselves just by exercise and introducing that into your life. So if there are any questions, I think Brother Matt's going to send out the information in a follow-up email, but we definitely welcome you to join in with us, and we're looking forward to this event, this virtual event as it were. Thanks, Brother Matt.
Okay. All right, so you got to stop the share. So for you young men that are in the program, again, thanking the Clio Clicks organization, they have provided funding for us. And we are going to be ensuring that at least 40 young men receive the uniform for that day. It's a phenomenal T-shirt that you'll get, and then you'll be able to participate in the 5K run. So we have 40 slots available for young men in our program. We have 80 young men in the program. So the first 40 young men that respond will be given the opportunity. As we close, I wanted to acknowledge our program is really all about highlighting young people that are doing phenomenal stuff. I met a young man the other day named Josiah Owens, and we are going to be supporting his program. Josiah, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, tell us just a little bit about, you got about a minute to tell us about your program, and then we're going to invite you back to do a specific thing focused on you. But I wanted to end with highlighting a phenomenal young man. Tell us about your program, young man.
So the program I'm working on is called SideQuest Magazine. It's a gaming and anime magazine I'm working on. It focuses more on the Generation Z's perspective on gaming and anime news. I think I saw a gap in the market when it came to that, and I saw that there wasn't a lot of representation when it came to that. And also a part of the proceeds of the company also goes to a charity called Gamers Outreach, which helps gives games to kids in hospitals to help them recover with recovery and stuff like that. And I thought that really helped fit with my brand, because when I was in hospital for 2 weeks, I had access to video games, and that helped me out a lot. So I felt like it was a good connection there. And yeah.
Great. All right, so we are continuing to support these young people every possible way that we can. And we want to highlight young people that are doing great work. Walter, we want to say thank you so much for you and your dad coming out. We want to thank the Black Pilots of America for allowing us the opportunity. We'll be paying for young people to join the BPA, as well as paying for young people to participate in the 5K run. And we are just 4 minutes over, but since we got started at 7:05, I'm actually a minute ahead of time. I want to say thank you to everyone that's here. I want to ask all fraternity members to just stay on for a couple of minutes. But other than that, I want to ask everybody to have a blessed weekend, and we look forward to working with you. Our next activity is going to be on April the 24th, where we will be focusing on careers in law enforcement. So guys, it's nice outside. It's Saturday. Get outside, have a great time, and God bless you guys, okay?
Okay, thank you, Matt, for the opportunity.
Take care, guys.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Enjoy yourself.
Excellent program, Greg.